A pleasant day to you all, beautiful African children and children all around. My name is Nicolas Wela, the junior mayor from Mutare, and this is my deputy mayor, Tinevimbo Chakonzi, and today we're on Commemorating. So today we would like to enlighten the world, the children at large, on what it means to be an African child. For today is the 16th of June, the Day of the African Child. So I'm just going to break it down and make you try and understand where the Day of the African Child came from. So the Day of the African Child is basically the 16th of June, which is a day that is commemorated for all the children in remembering and commemorating their lives, those that were massacred in Soweto in South Africa in 1976, for they were protesting against the unfair treatment and the informal educational systems. So today, after many years, and it was then formalized by the African Union in 1991. So today, after many years, we're also moving with the theme this year that 30 years after the adoption of the Charter, accelerate implementation of Agenda 2040 for an Africa that is fit for children. So today, the Junior Council of Mutare would come to you as the children of Africa, the children of Zimbabwe, the children of Mutare, and global children nationwide, internationally, and everywhere you may be, just to enlighten you, to remind you what it means to be a beautiful African child. So Tinevimbo, can you just tell us what it means to just be an African child? What it means to you?
Well, basically, being an African child is something that is valued, something that grows within your soul, something that grows in your heart, something you want to let others know, something that you want to achieve as a person. Now, I would like to speak for the African child because we have seen to it that her rights or his rights are not looked up to. His or her wants are not looked up to. So therefore, as the Junior Council, we are here to act as the voice to the voiceless and to actually stand in for the children that are voiceless and stand in for them so that they can be heard. Thank you.
Indeed, because sometimes you may come back home to Zimbabwe, to Mutare, and then we understand that every now and again, a child wants to be like Nicki Minaj. Yes, we acknowledge that fact that she is indeed a very famous person. And sometimes, yes, you might want to be like them, but you need not forget that you are of an African ethnicity. You are African. So rock your, your dignified skirt, rock your flat palms, rock something that's just African, something that's dignified. Because in the context of wanting to be amazing, don't lose your self-respect and your dignity in the process. So as African children, we come back to you on this day because those children that died in 1976, indeed, they did not die for nothing. We come back to you as the community because we understand that being the case back home, in Mutare every day we may face many cases of children that have been killed. We have problems of ritual murder. We have problems of child marriages, school dropouts, you name it. So this is why we're coming to you as the Junior Council, as also as African children, to remind you African children that, this fight is on, because sometimes these culprits, they think that they've got everything figured out, Tinevimbo. Because at the end of the day, I have rights and I expect them to be upheld. But then you have these culprits that are then forcing themselves onto the girl child, etc., but then they go unpunished. So we're here as the child leaders to remind the children that there is still hope and the fight is still on. So Tinevimbo, can you just help us by enlightening the community, the world at large, on the problems that we are facing globally, continentally, and even regionally, even in Zimbabwe itself?
Well, as the African child, we've faced a lot of problems, some of which we might not mention, but there are quite a lot of problems. Socially, we're facing challenges of drug abuse. We're actually facing troubles of sexual harassment and a lot of problems that we are facing. So as the Junior Council, we're not only here for the name Junior Council, but we're actually here to work for the development of the child, of the African native, ladies and gentlemen. So therefore, we're saying that we are here to help. We are here to serve. But we're not here to serve alone. We need your help. We need you to actually communicate to us so that we can know what the problem is, what the problem is lacking, so that we can actually help. And thus we're saying that iweneni tinebasa, asante sana, because together we hold a unity. Together we can fight against these problems that we are facing as the African children.
So some people might want to try and understand that with the theme that we have, what do we see that we want to attain by the Agenda 2040? So as the Junior Council for Mutare, yes, you might just be here for a year, but that is the beginning of the road for us as well. That means that even when we step out of office, we're still going to be hand in glove with those that are fighting. Because we don't live in a vacuum. Like you said, Asante Sana, iweni niti nyebasa. So that means that even the adults and us children, we've got to work hand in glove to fight these problems that we're facing everywhere, right? So we're saying that by Agenda 2040, we are trying to come to a position where children can be respected. Because in as much as I'm minor, in as much as I'm 18 years and below, I also do deserve to be respected. You know, my body is my temple, it's my dignity, it's my respect, it's my morale, it's my self-esteem, it's my confidence, it's my everything. So if you force yourself onto me, then what do you want me to have left? You see, so I have rights, I have responsibilities, and I expect them to be upheld. This is why, as the Junior Council, working hand in glove with the Senior Council and the Central Government, we're coming to you telling you that by Agenda 2040, we are trying to attain an Africa where there is peace and cohesion, where there is child participation and child emancipation, child proclamation. By that, we've also seen it. Right here, right now, we have the junior mayor, the junior deputy mayor. This is child participation. And hence, at the end of the day, children are being recognized, and we are grateful for all the authorities that are choosing us as junior councillors, junior parliamentarians, you name it. So we're acknowledging and we're accepting that fact. But what we want now is for everyone to join us on this fight. As the Junior Council, what are we bringing into the table? Because we've done our surveys, we've done our research, and Tinevimbo, I'm sure you can account for the fact that we've also noted that it's broad daylight news that we've accounted for about 5,000 cases of child marriages and teenage pregnancies. I'm sure everyone reads the news and everyone's heard about this. So this is all because of COVID-19, right? Since everyone has been restricted from going to schools, etc., etc., etc. So now, where do we come in as Junior Council? We now come in and we're lobbying in, we're raising awareness, conscientizing society, children and adults on the pros and the cons of rushing into having a child. Tinevimbo, would you want to have a child at your age?
I would definitely not
Why
want to
not?
have a child. Because I have a dream. I've got dreams of achieving greater things than actually having a child.
Okay.
We shouldn't succumb to child marriages,
Yes.
because that's what we believe that once I'm married, I can now have a family, right?
Yes.
I can now have money.
Okay.
Maybe you are getting married to a richer person. But then actually, we are, as the girl child, I have the right to actually let my feelings show out to the world, right? I should actually attain my goals so that I can actually become greater than actually someone who's just going to get married. I have to actually get something else,
Yes.
like a job,
Okay.
going to work, and then upbringing the other children who are facing those kind of problems like child marriages.
Yes.
Actually telling them, Kuti, it's not always right to get married before you finish your schoolwork. Rather, you should actually go further than schoolwork. You should actually go and work for yourself and get degrees, get diplomas, get everything that you can in order to actually sustain yourself with money, with luxuries and all that. And telling them that marriage is not the way to go. If you want luxuries, you can actually get them on your own. You can work for yourself. You can do all of that on your own.
So from what I'm getting, every girl child, if not most girl children, have a dream.
Exactly.
You want to be recognized because we understand that somewhere, somehow, our society is still patriarchal. So you are a feminist advocate
I'm
that is
fighting
going
for the girl
radical,
child.
right?
Yes.
So you want girl children to be acknowledged.
Yes.
You want to be self-reliant, independent.
Exactly.
I like that. So this is where we're coming back. We have culprits. I hope, culprit, you're watching this. Who are you to infringe a girl child of their dream to be an aircraft engineer? Who are you to infringe a girl child of their dream to be a doctor? Food for thought. This is where we come back, we acknowledge and we understand that maybe some girl children, they don't know some of the problems that come with indulging in these marriages, right? Because at the end of the day, you're just 15. Everything has its time. I always talk about, things going in synchronicity. Everything has its time. From birth, you go to crawling, you sitting, etc. Like that's how it goes. You can't just like you come out of your mother's womb and you're already eating solids. It's not how life goes. So if you start jumping stages, that just shows how disorganized you are, and problems seem to follow, right? Because with these early child marriages, we've got teen pregnancies, we've got STIs, we've got a high mortality of both the mother and the child, and this is not what we want, because at the end of the day, you are the future child of Africa. Now, bear with us here when we're talking about an African child. We're not talking just about a child that's below the age of 18. We're speaking of a 125-year-old grandmother and grandfather that's sitting under the tree. You are an African child, and our mother is Mother Africa. So welcome to the child, okay? Today is your day. No matter if you're 800 or if you're 200 and something, you are still an African child. And it also doesn't matter if you're light-skinned, if you're dark-skinned, if you're Asian, if you're what. So long you have the love for Africa and you're working hand in glove. You know, at the end of the day, I think being African comes down to the way you view things, because if you have a heart and you see that whether you're black or you're white, it's just color. At the end of the day, we're breathing the same oxygen. It's not that you are white, so you're breathing nitrogen. You are Asian, you're breathing carbon dioxide. We are all breathing oxygen. So that makes us people of, we're just the same people. So I don't see why there's need to differentiate that you are light, you are dark. There's no need for that. We're all Africans. We should all be brought up in a loving environment, in a caring environment. So as part of our action plan as the Junior Council Tinevimbo, we've also been doing research, and we've understood that for children to feel free, we've seen it feasible that we come to you and speak to you directly, because we would have loved to do this, face to face and interact with many children. But well, due to COVID-19, we can do this, and it's still making the voices heard, right? So we've understood that we're going to try and work hand in glove with organizations like Helpline, etc., just to bring you back home, to help you understand and also educate you on problems of child marriages, early school dropouts, etc. Because sometimes, yes, even though you might not want to get married, but circumstances force you to Tinevimbo. What do you say to children, the girl child that's a mother, or to someone that dropped out of school because of lack of funds, or someone that's in the streets because they don't have the basic commodities? What can you say to them? What's your message?
I would like to say that it's not too late. As girls, we are forced to come to conclusions that we don't want to come to, just because of our families, just because of our societies, just because of the way we live or whatsoever. But then I'm just saying that to the girl who has a child, it is not too late to actually go to school, go back to school, start learning, start developing on your education, on your educational skills and everything else. Sometimes when we are degraded, when we don't have anything else, it's better to communicate, talk to us, talk to someone who is going to help you in a way that is going to benefit you. So that is why we as the Junior Council are here. We are here to serve. We are here to help you, and we are here most certainly to make your dreams come true. So therefore, we're saying that if you want to achieve something, if you want to further your studies, it is actually a way that shows us that you are indeed an African child that wants to develop in everything that he or she is doing. So therefore, I would like to say that as the African child, as a girl child, you are indeed our pride, and you can as well go further with your studies so that you can be of help to the society.
I'm gonna catch you there. African child, you are our pride. That also just reminds me of how, have you ever noticed that most of the countries in Africa, we've never really had anything served to us on a silver platter. We've had to fight our way to become what we want. We are free to be ourselves because of the way we fought. We can bring us back to those children in Soweto that fought the education system because they felt as if only the superior children could go to school. But no, we fought to the end. So this is why we're coming back to you Africans, that don't let circumstances stop you from attaining your dream. Like Tinevimbo said, you're an African child, you're vibrant, you're bold, you're beautiful. Just keep telling yourself there and push to the end. Just because you got married that doesn't stop you from attaining your dream. Circumstances pushed you. Maybe you came from a poor background. Maybe things didn't really work out for you in your family and stuff, so you're pushed to having a child. But I urge you that committing suicide or giving up on yourself is not the end result, because at the end of the day, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. We have many problems that we're facing with many people that have had to make it in life but had nothing. Use those people as role models, help them, let them encourage you, let them motivate you. Sometimes as you sit under a tree and just be like, but I've got nothing. But let it just ring in your head that there was someone else that had nothing, but look at where they are today. It should just push you to attain the greatness that you want, because sometimes you might not have anyone else, but don't let yourself crouch, because not always are you going to have someone in your corner. Fight to the end and attain what you want, right? So in our vision of making Mutare, Manicaland, Zimbabwe, Africa a safer environment as part of our action plan, we've seen it feasible as the Junior Council to improve on our road security, right? By road security, I'm speaking of the zebra crossing. We've also been improving the ramps. We've also been working on that in trying to find funding and also working with organizations. So we're appealing to you as the children of Africa, as adults of Africa, as anyone all around that might feel the need and the urge to make the life of another child improved. So we're coming to you today to just urge you and to remind you that we shall be moving around in schools, in towns, etc., collecting donations, and also providing for those in orphanages, those in streets, educating children in schools of the pros and cons of abuse, sexual transmitted infections, and also drug abuse, school dropouts, early child marriages, all those problems that we're facing in society, and also trying to make Mutare a safe place on the roads and in homes, because the ritual murders are increasing. People are having many shortcuts in becoming rich.
It's really sad.
Why would you want to become rich? You are a woman. For Christ's sake, you are a man. You want to be rich by removing the happiness of another family. I've heard many say that a child is a source of joy. A child is a pride to some families, to most families. So where do you get the guts? Where do you get the audacity? Do you not have a conscience? Tinevimbo, please help me understand. Where do these people come from? You hear that a person stole a 2-year-old child, and then you would find the remains of their body just left at the side of the road. Then what is that? Because that child, that just means that you've killed potential. You killed the next potential president. You killed the next doctor that could have brought a cure to COVID-19 or something, That's just the problem that we're facing in the world right now. We've got a lot of people that are being so inhuman, You need to acknowledge the rights and the love for children themselves. Sometimes a child can be a problem. Yes, we acknowledge that. That's who we are, we're children. But we grow up. You were granted the opportunity to become an adult. So now that you're an adult, now you want to infringe children. Is that really fair? Because we're trying to advocate for a world that is fair, but don't you think so?
That's
a world where there's equality for the girl child and the boy child, Because sometimes, yes, there's a lot of problems. Some problems you can't just fix them overnight, but sometimes you just need to, weigh the options and balance. What do you think?
Well, I think that in terms of these problems that we're facing of ritual murders, yes. It starts with the motivation, right? As the child grows in a certain society,
yes.
Let's take for instance that person who's acting towards those ritual murders,
yes.
Right? He was once a child,
yes.
And he was once led by someone, right?
Yes.
So I'm beginning to think that these problems are actually caused by the base of that child.
Okay.
So therefore, as this council, we are advocating so that the children that we are nurturing right now,
yes.
Are not prompt to those kind of crimes, right?
Okay.
So therefore, we're saying that if you can't cure a person who's already into crime, then why don't we just start with the children that we have right now,
okay.
So that they can actually act upon the future of the world, upon the future of Zimbabwe, upon the future of Africa, and they can actually eradicate that kind of behavior, those kinds of crimes. So therefore, I'm saying that yes, there are problems such as that, and in our power, we cannot just eradicate them just like that. So therefore I'm saying that why don't we just start on a new ground and focus on those children that we have, so that they don't do those crimes that we're facing right now.
Yes. So we're saying that basically we're changing the narrative. We are a revolutionary group that is trying to change the narrative, and we're doing everything in our might to change the narrative. It's not just Mutare Junior Council, it's every junior council, be it in Harare, in Bulawayo, in Guruwe, in Chegutu. Every junior council is working with everything they have, because sometimes as junior councillors we can't go to the point where we see someone that's murdering or doing something, let me just arrest them. We can't do that, but we're trying very much in our power, and we can only attain that if we have people in our court, right? We have to fight this together. This is a problem, even as a parent, as you are where you are, just sit there and look at your girl child. What do you want for your girl child? Don't you want them to aspire to be someone great, to live in that mansion, to drive that Pajero, to just do something great with their lives? Don't you think so? So as a mother, as a father, we come to you today as we're celebrating this Day of the African Child. We're just reminding you that being African means that you're beautiful, means that you're bold, means that you are an inspiration to someone else. Because Africans, I don't know if I'm wrong, but Africans were just known to thrive through the mud. We go through the darkest of times only to emerge the greatest. We're like the phoenix. We rise from the ashes. We do everything in our might. And as an African child, remember that. No matter what circumstances, no matter what problem you may face, no matter how many times you've lost family members, no matter how many times you failed in school, that's not the end of the road, African child. You are beautiful. There's so much potential. There's so much greatness in you. And I refuse, as the junior mayor of Mutare, I refuse to see you give up on yourself because of minor hiccups that you've just succumbed to in life. That's what life is. Life is never going to be a sweet song, a sweet melody. And problems are never going to get easy. It's just you that gets stronger. So brace yourself for the worst, African child, and brace yourself for the best as well. Because the worst is yet to come, but the best is already here. So let's fight these problems that we're facing. Join junior council, join the city council, join every council, join the central government, join everyone. You have to join all the parties, join all the organizations, join everyone that is fighting for a better and safe environment, because we're advocating for peace, for cohesion, cooperation, humanitization. Everyone should just be loving. Just imagine the thought that you gave 2 kgs of rice to a child that is in an orphanage. Imagine thinking that you fed a person that sleeps next to the road, that you gave them a blanket. Good people, it's June. It's freezing. We're trying to do the Operation Juice, where every time you come into town, if you know that in your closet you've got that jacket that you don't wear, bring that jacket to town, give it to some street kid in the streets. You've helped someone. Now imagine if you can help someone at such a young age. Imagine the type of president we're going to have in future years to come. That means that we have a president that is down to earth. We have many born leaders that have been and cultivated with the spirit and the morale of helping and loving one another. Don't you think so, Tinevimbo?
I think so.
Yes. So we're coming back to you as the community, as Mutare, as Manicaland, as Zimbabwe, as Africa, as the continent, as the whole world at large, that sometimes you just need to have a heart. It's not about being rich or driving mini cars. It's just that thought that, with this 2 kg of rice that I have, if I just cook this plate and I give it to someone that's in the streets, I've made a change. I've left a mark. Maybe it might not be written down in the Guinness World Book of Records. Bear with us. But the change is made not in books or what, because that can be lost, but in the heart of an individual. You've done something, you've changed the life of a person, and you've inspired that person to help someone else. So hence, as the Junior Council, we appeal to you to just remind you that African child, you are beautiful. African child, don't give up. Tinevimbo, do you have any last words as we round up?
I would like to say that the African child matters. And we are here to help you. And we are here to make sure that your dreams do come true and that you are going to make it in life.
Yes. So to sum up, I just want to tell an African child a few words that whenever you feel like giving up, remember them. Always tell yourself that I don't need approval, nor do I seek validation. Always tell yourself that I govern my own mind, I master my own fate, because you are an African child and you are beautiful. At the end of the way, at the end of the road, when a problem comes, don't say, why me? Don't crouch and try and cry, but face it face front and say, try me. Because you are a fighter, African child. You've gone from birth, you've been bred in Africa, but look at where you are today. You're beautiful. You're smiling and you're shining. So always remind yourself that you are brave and you are bold. And no matter what circumstances, no matter what problems you may face, yes, indeed, even in schools, we have many problems that you've resorted to online systems. To some extent, yes, they might not be effective, but work with that. That's what you've got. Learn, excel, and be the greatest you can be. Yes, maybe you can't interact with all your family members like you used to. Yes, maybe we may face many problems that are being brought about by the COVID-19, but it is beyond our control. Just do everything in your power to ensure your safety. And remember, African child, you're beautiful. Thank you.